Welcome back to Theme Park Spark. Please like and subscribe. Back in December 2012, my husband and I traveled from Los Angeles to Sydney, Australia to celebrate our 5th wedding anniversary. It was a bucket list trip for both of us, and we spent 3 wonderful weeks exploring Australia in the weeks leading up to Christmas. This year, in 2023, I decided to compile our photos and videos to relive the experience and share it with you. Be sure to check out my Australia playlist to see all of the videos. This was my first time flying internationally, and it was a really good experience. We flew Virgin Australia from LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, to Sydney, Australia. We had left LAX on Sunday night, and we arrived on Tuesday morning, since we crossed the international date line. We were the first plane to arrive in Sydney that morning. We actually got there early and had to circle for a half hour because you can't land in Sydney until 6 a.m. We stayed at the Meriton Apartments on Kent Street. We got there around 7 a.m. and our room wasn't supposed to be available until the afternoon, but we were able to check in right away. I'd heard ahead of time to try to get a room on a higher floor because you could get like a fireworks view from Darling Harbour. But we were just so tired, we didn't care. We were like, we'll take any room. And since we basically stayed up all night, we just got our room and tried to get some sleep. The room was really big. It's a 1-bedroom apartment with a full kitchen, balcony, and washer and dryer. We didn't really do much that first day because of the jet lag. The day after we landed in Sydney, we walked over to Darling Harbour from our hotel on Kent Street and had a big breakfast. This was our first time trying Vegemite, and we are not fans. It kind of tastes like solid black coffee. It was really bitter, and we don't get the whole Vegemite thing. Everything else was really good, though. So we learned that a traditional big breakfast in Australia consists of eggs, hash browns, sausage, bacon, which in the United States we consider Canadian bacon, but that's the only kind of bacon they have in Australia. Plus, there were grilled tomatoes and mushrooms and toast. We got the special, which came with juice instead of mushrooms. Then we walked over to the Rocks, and we shared a pizza at a cafe there. So we walked in between. We didn't just eat and then go immediately eat. We walked around from like breakfast time to lunchtime, and then we had lunch at the Rocks. We took pictures of the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge, which one of our bucket list things that we had to do in Australia was see the Opera House. And the Harbour Bridge, but definitely the Opera House. And then we did the highlight of our trip in actual Sydney, which was taking a tour of the Opera House. If something had been playing at the Opera House that we'd wanted to see, we would have done that instead, but it was really, really cool seeing the Opera House up close. I never really appreciated it as much as I did after seeing it in person. One thing I learned was that it's designed to look like sails because it's right on the harbor, so to look like sails. That's why it's shaped the way it is. And from a distance, the sails kind of look like they're a solid piece of roofing or building material, but up close you can see the intricate pattern that they're made out of. It is really, really cool and impressive. We also got to peek inside the Opera House as well, which was really cool. Afterwards, we ate at a cafe near the Opera House. And we met a girl there from Boston who was there on a tourist visa. We learned that, at least at this time back in 2012, you can get a tourist visa to work in Australia for about a year if you're between the ages of 18 and 30. We were over 30 at the time. We missed our opportunity. I wish I had known. This would have been like an amazing honeymoon. 5 years earlier, we would have qualified. If you're between the ages of 18 and 30, check and see if this is still a thing. If you could go to Australia and kind of backpack your way around and work your way around and explore the country for a year, that would just be really cool. Be sure to check out the next video to find out about our first tour that we did in Australia.